Good afternoon, friends and traders. Welcome to the Market Recap. I am Dan Hodgman. It is Thursday, July 29th. I hope you guys have all had a great day. GDP numbers coming out today. Economy's looking real happy. You got the Fed talking yesterday about how economy looks to continue to be strengthening. We're showing better, just a little bit better than we were pre-pandemic. So, fundamentally, stocks should be higher, and that's exactly what we've got going on. Everything is up today. The bigger questions are, can this last? We do know that there are new strains coming out of COVID. We're starting to see some of the lockdowns that were being pulled back. We're starting to return. You're seeing federal employees are mandated to wear masks. Now we're talking federal employees mandated to be vaccinated or have the vaccination. You've got states now discussing possibly pulling back on some of this opening that they've done and getting back to closing things down. We'll see what happens. Time will tell on that, but right now stocks are pretty darn happy, and stocks aren't the only one up. Remember earlier this week and into last week, we said if we can see this crude oil market really start to hold some acceptance up above $72, it could be some good opportunity to the upside, and that's continuing what we got going on. This market opened up this morning, floating just a little bit above settlement price, about 15 to 20 cents above settlement price. Opens up, doesn't make that look down to close the gap. It takes back off to the upside. We're ending our day here on our high, 73.60 approximately. S&P 500, boy oh boy, a big opening move. Takes off to make new highs. We're seeing this start to pull back a little bit. We do have Amazon earnings coming in here shortly. We're seeing that one pull back just slightly. Now, Nasdaq, a little bit different. You got the Dow and the S&P making new all-time highs. Nasdaq, on the other hand, kind of pushes right to yesterday's high, and throughout the day slowly pulls back until about the last couple minutes here. We have seen it turn negative. Gold, though, on the other hand, holy cats. Huge move by gold. Gaps last night off the open. Doesn't look back. Now, if this thing starts to retrace, we do have an area to keep an eye on to close that gap. But right now, today's play, settlement price on that market yesterday in gold was $17.99.70. 17. I'm sorry, that is not right. I don't know why my chart's not loading. I know what I'm looking at. My apologies. Here we go. 1804.60. 1804.60. My quote board had not updated. I had not updated my contract month on there. Remember, gold is in September. But this market opens up. Settlement price again, 1804.60. Shoots all the way up to almost 1840. So we've got like a nice $35 move in the gold market here today, ending a little bit off those highs. Now, Euro looks the exact same. Euro opened up this morning, never really ever made a look back to settlement price, continued on the trend higher, and that market's off to the races where 10-year note pretty much holds right at settlement price. That settlement price was 134.08 half, 134.08 half for settlement there. So we'll take a look at those charts here in a moment. And also, I forgot to mention in the beginning here, wanted to just apologize. We had a little technical difficulty. John was doing some stuff at home, accidentally clicked into the stream. We had to create a new stream. So if we lost you from that previous stream, I do apologize. But glad to see some of you guys have found us on our new stream here. As a matter of fact, Scott, Bill, George, and Norman, good to see all of you guys there. I hope you guys have all had a great week. It is Thursday. We're coming into the end of the week here, as you guys know. Fridays are capital preservation day. Lock in those profits when you got them. Look for your out. Look to get away as early as possible. I'll be doing that. Heck, I don't even think I'm going to trade tomorrow. It's going to be a gorgeous day. I'm going to be heading downtown Chicago for a little bit, go enjoy the city, and so I'm looking forward to that. So let's go ahead and take a look at these charts here and see what we got going on today. As always, we're starting with crude oil, and I wanted to point this one out just so we can kind of see where we've been going here in the crude oil market on the higher time frame. So we have our highs, I guess you could say a couple year high, all the way up here right around that $76 mark. And that range, that 75 to 76, to me is going to be extremely, extremely pivotal. We're still falling short of that, but that's what I'm going to be looking for here tonight, tomorrow, if this market continues in this direction, right? Where is this thing going to go? We've got to start looking at prior levels. So, $75, that's what I'm looking at up above. Pay attention to these prior consolidation areas. If you start to see it slowing up, just be prepared for that. Make sure you're looking at that higher time frame always, because when we get in here into a 30-minute chart, it looks like the sky's the limit and you can't really see it because you can't get a big enough picture. So make sure you're always looking at that higher time frame. So crude oil, like we said, opened up just above settlement price here in crude oil, 72.39, 72.39. We opened up just above it, and it never, my mouse is freezing up, battery must be dying. It never made the initial closing to settlement price. So we see the market open up, get a little bit of volatility, but doesn't make new lows, doesn't get towards that settlement price. What does that tell us? It tells us look for trend to continue. When we're looking for trend to continue, we're looking at this trend is higher right now. We know we've kind of broken through that $72 mark yesterday. That's what we talked about, breaking through. We're showing acceptance up above. So where's this going to go? We're looking for weakness. We're looking for those points of pullback that's going to give us a chance to get in on the trade. And this is where we start to see the market pulling back just slightly right near opening lows. To me, that's a great opportunity. If this market's coming in, you can go ahead and be long this. And you're going to look, I think it's a simple idea. Your target is looking at overnight swing high. You guys know me, that's so important, such important levels to be looking at. Overnight swing high, which happens to be right where today's point of control is. Market continues on in that direction all day long. Pretty exciting to watch that. Next, let's look at the S&P 500. Like we said, S&P opened up this morning very strong, extremely strong open. We started to make new highs, and this is where you can see the market's getting weaker. You've got volume starting to dip off. When we start to recognize volume is dipping, you look for directional move to slow up and possibly return. Once you start to see that market slowing up, we start to see volume picking back up. You're starting to bring in more volume as the sellers are starting to overpower. That's indication that this thing's just turning around right now. We're not making it nearly down towards settlement price like the Nasdaq is, and we'll take a look at that in just a moment. But that's, to me, it's really hard to get in on that initial move. You can maybe start to look at this week's swing high, and you're looking at an opportunity there. But to me, that's a tough trade to be buying those highs. It's extremely hard to be buying a contract high or an all-time high. You want to look for those opportunities, those pullbacks. Where's this thing going to either retrace, or where's that pullback to get in on directional move? And that's what you got to be looking at when you're starting to approach those all-time highs. All right, now Nasdaq looks a little bit different. Probably a little patient because of, just some big earnings coming in here today. One of which, that whole Amazon thing coming in this afternoon. So settlement price in this market was $15,1150. We are well below our settlement price, but just like S&P, this market popped. And here's what we're paying attention to. You're starting to see it resist as well. Remember, we looked at the S&P sellers, or we were getting lack of volume. We were making that new all-time high, lacking volume. Look for those markets to start to retrace. Well, this market approached yesterday's regular trading hour swing high, and the same thing started to happen. We're seeing that volume dip. As soon as the sell-off really starts to begin, you start to see volume increase and attracting new sellers. And I think this just is strictly, hey, we got Amazon earnings coming in. We got the pop here today. Let's bring this thing back a little bit and wait and see, not carry much through the close into the overnight until we get those earnings coming in. All right, next, let's look at the gold market. Like we said, gold gapped open last night and has just continued a terror to the upside. I mean, it's as simple as that. Continuing strong trend to the upside, and basically opening set us up really nicely. Waiting for that equity market to open, looking for the weakness, which is where we were right when we opened here, right when the equities opened. We saw a little bit of weakness, and that to me is our chance to continue with trend. Trend's your friend. You don't want to fight it. You don't want to argue it. You want to get in as that market is going. And that's what you want to be paying attention to. Looking for the weakness in a directional move. This market has been extremely directional the last 24 hours. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to continue to trade with that mindset until this market is saying something else. But right now, it's not telling us anything else until we get some news or some information coming out that's going to tell us this market's ready to pull back and start to retrace again. So that's exactly my mentality going forward. I'm not thinking much of it. I'm trading what this market's showing me. And the same's going to apply here for the euro. Euro opened up, has been in a strong trend now. We're starting to see a little bit of a bullish market here over the last few days. Last night, big moves last night after the big afternoon yesterday. And we continued on all day long here today. And again, the same thing. Yes, do we know the euro gets a little bit tighter during regular trading hours? Absolutely. Is that going to change our thought process on how we're trading a trending market? Absolutely not. Market's telling us it still wants to move higher. We're strictly looking for the pullbacks. You have a pullback this morning right after it opened. We had a pullback around lunchtime. You had a couple chances to find those pullbacks to get in on the trend. Don't get yourself caught as the market is marking highs. Wait for those pullbacks. Don't be the one that's calling the top until the top has told you it is there. All right, and lastly, let's take a look at the 10-year note. Again, 10-year note, pretty quiet here today. Basically worked ourselves from yesterday's value area low to value area high and recovered right back. And for the most part, has floated that settlement price 34.08 half, little above, little below. Difficult trade once again here in this market. That's the biggest stressor I can give you guys. If you're trading this market, be quick to get out of it when it's telling you you are wrong. Don't feel like you've got to push it. Don't feel like it's going to return. Take that quick loss, wait for your next chance, and look for that next opportunity. All right, everybody, those are our markets here today. Like I said, it is Thursday. Wild week coming to a close. This was a big earnings week. We were getting through it. We got Amazon posting here shortly. I have not seen anything yet. Amazon posts third $100 billion quarter in a row, but missed its expectations. It's pretty amazing. It was expected $115.33 billion in revenue. Looks like we got $113.1 billion in revenue, but earnings per share was expected 12.25. We got 15.12, so makes nice hit there. It's been a strong earnings across the board. A lot of companies are posting really good earnings reports. If you're invested in these, hopefully you're doing well and you're having some fun with it. Speaking of investing, if you've known me, you know I love IPOs. I love everything about IPOs, and I try and get in on them as much as I humanly can. I try and get in even before things go public. That's usually the goal. Robinhood, though, it's just been a rough, wild ride of a year for Robinhood, to say the least. You know, that whole GameStop thing. Well, they went public today. They IPO'd at $38. And I'm sure people aren't real happy right now. They're down about $3 a share, a little over $3 a share. Little volatile. We rallied to 39, broke down to 34.5. And for the most part, right now, we're closing the day out right around 34.8. But no, still plenty of participation yet to come. Should be an exciting time watching this Robinhood stock and this IPO continue to go. I'm looking forward to keeping our eyes on it. So we'll add it into our stocks that we're checking on each day. Speaking of, the first one we're going to take a quick glance at, we got to take a look at our Bitcoin, see what's going on over there. Pretty much unchanged from yesterday, $39,705 a share there, and then, or a coin, not a share, a coin. And then our Airbnb stock, we had a nice little day here, popped up to 44.5, but ending our day at $143.47. Tesla, $677. AMC down a little bit at 38, and GameStop down a little bit there at 164. So those are our stocks here today. Our yields down slightly, not really much to bat an eye at. And then tomorrow, just a couple things to pay attention to. Personal income and outlays tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Central Time. and then earnings. We're still going to have a couple tomorrow. It is the big week. You've got Berkshire Hathaway, you've got ExxonMobil, Procter & Gamble, Chevron, Charter Communications, Caterpillar, just to name a few. So we're still getting some decent ones coming into tomorrow. So if you're trading, just keep an eye on those. These aren't going to be anything like an Amazon, but nonetheless, definitely worth keeping your eyes on those. All right, everybody. And on this note, we're going to go ahead and hit this date in history and get the heck on out of here. But first, I got to see Jacob got in early on the run up in the S&P today. Way to go. Notice was struggling at the top, but didn't pull out as soon as my gut told me. So I gave back some gains, still green, but should have trusted myself. That's all right, Jacob. Looking for those confirmations. If your gut's telling you, I'm a big believer. We've watched these markets so much. We put so much time and effort. When our gut's saying something, trying to find some confirmation, that definitely does help. But, if you don't have that confirmation, you got to have something telling you, hey, things are changing here. We can't just trade based off of gut instinct. Federico, good to see you. Traded ZB this week, and it was nice. Awesome. Michael, Dan, good to see you, and thank you. You're welcome. All right, so this date in history, the first one, 1958, NASA was created. Love them or hate them, they were created in 1958. And Hogue, if you're listening out there, Hogue, you are our music buff around here. 1967, The Doors scored their first ever hit, number one hit with Light My Fire. And one last one, 1909. GM, General Motors, bought Cadillac. So on that note, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign on out of here. Have a great weekend. John will be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Central Time with the market forecast. So until then, stay safe, wash your hands, trade smart, and trade well. I look forward to seeing you guys in the